What's up, Anderson fam? I'm Roderick,
I'm Yasmin, and you are
hanging
hanging
with
with
the
the Andersons.
Andersons.
We're back with another video. Today's video actually is going to be a little more vulnerable. In today's video, we'll be sharing with you guys about some of our health challenges actually that we've experienced over the years. Some longer than others. We've had a quite interesting 2019. So we're gonna actually start off with my husband telling his story, and I'll let him explain it.
What's up, guys? How you doing? My story is about my hearing loss that I've had over the years. I was born with chronic ear infection, and through the process of having chronic ear infection, for those that might even suffer with a little ear infection or hearing loss, it's a difficult thing because sometimes you feel like people be talking to you, you try to read their lips, you try to figure out what they saying to you, and you don't want to ask people to speak up or use hands gestures because you might feel embarrassed, you might feel like, oh wow, why was I born this way? Why is this happening to me? Me personally, um, it's been quite a journey. I'm gonna tell you, it's been quite a journey. I have had like surgeries after surgeries after surgeries, trying to repair, fix, or get a unction of something to hear. I even went through hearing aids. I even went through other devices, and um, it's been a challenge. It's really been a challenge. Childhood, it's been a challenge going to school, getting picked at because can't hear, or people
So kids
saying
would pick at you because you couldn't hear.
kids would pick at you. Yeah, kids was rude. They was very cruel back then, and they even worse now. But yeah, they was cruel. Um, I had this one device that looks. I laugh at it now, but when it had it, it wasn't funny. It looked like it was a radio, but it really wasn't. It was a hearing device. My teacher would wear this box on the side with the microphone to the shirt, and I would have what they call headphones and another box to my side. So if he walk out the classroom and go to the office, which is like far away from the classroom, I could hear the whole conversation because the box is still on. And kids would pick at me and say, "Hey, he got a radio on his head," to say mean stuff like that. And it would really put you down, really, really put you down. And being told that you have to go through so many surgeries. I had my tonsils taken out. I had my adenoids taken out. I had surgeries on both of my ears. I had a bone taken out my right ear. I had reconstruction of my eardrum. Everything that you could think of to try to repair my ears to be able to find something that would make me hear just a little tone. Come to find out, all the surgeries I had didn't really need it because the problem that I had was nerves.
Yeah.
The sound was not getting to my nerves.
Yeah, it wasn't getting all the way down into his ear canal. So basically, about 2014, 2015, um, after he had reconstructive surgery of his ear, um, he had an amazing ENT doctor whose name is Dr. Coelho. He is a part of the VCU ENT specialist, and he did a lot of studying about the surgeries Rock had had, the type of tests they had done, and that kind of came about after Rock kept having multiple episodes of ear infections and I mean really bad ear infections and not still being able to hear and having some pain trouble with having the hearing aid.
And yeah, I knew it was getting very serious to the point I knew something had to be done. Back when me and my wife was at my sister's house and we was watching Super Bowl, and we was driving home, and I told my wife, I said, a slight headache. I'm thinking it was just a normal headache. Nothing was so serious. Get home, take some Tylenol, I'll be all right. My wife told me I blacked out for about a few seconds or whatever. and I was driving, and we were heading towards a wall. I don't remember everything, but I do remember feeling the car snatch. My wife said she snatched the steering wheel, and when I came to, she told me exit off and just go to the nearest drugstore, which was
Like
Walgreens or something like that. And from there, I don't remember what else happened because my vertigo had got so bad. So yeah, it's my journey has been rough. It has been rough, but to God be the glory that 2 years ago, it's 2 years now.
It's been, yeah, you had your implant for about 2 years now.
2 years ago, Dr. Coelho, which is the best ENT, I suggest him to anybody down at MCV. Sorry, ear, nose, and throat.
VCU, but yes, it'll
VCU.
always be MCV to us.
Always be MCV to us, but it's VCU. Dr. Daniels Coelho, ENT, best doctor ever.
Hands
Um,
down.
he came to me with an idea about this coca, and
Well, that actually was 10 years ago. Because the whole process took 10 years for you to get your cocoa. But you've had your Baja for 2 years.
okay,
Yeah.
correction, thank you. But he came to me with the idea, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really feeling it because when he showed it, I saw the way it looks, and I was like, anybody know anything about me? I'm all about, I'm all about how, you know, to how how I look at everything, you know. But I came to the realization that hearing is a whole lot better than what it looks like, cosmetic, and I was a little nervous about the surgery at first. I really was because they said you had to put me back to sleep. They had to go through the whole process of make sure the post, yeah.
Was connected. But what were you nervous about? Like, why were you apprehensive?
One, I was nervous about the surgery, what kind of surgery it was. I didn't feel comfortable about the post, to be honest. And I was also nervous because, like I said previously, I have had so many surgeries that I was tired of having surgeries.
Were you nervous that it wasn't going to work?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I was really skeptical, and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I admit that I was scared that here we go with another that was not going to work. So I was skeptical, was scared, and when it all came to everything healed, and the whole process took of recovering from the surgery was
4 months.
Was it 4 months or 6 months?
It was 4 to 6 months. So they did. It was like a two-part thing. So they went in. They did the pose, which they had to connect the nerves from the pose to the bone, and that was part of the bone that they replaced because the bone that he originally had was so infected that it just
Deteriorated pretty much.
was deteriorated, and they were worried that it had did damage to his nerves, but thank God it didn't. So they did that surgery first. The initial surgery took like an hour, which was the
Lease.
that's like the shortest surgery Rock has ever been in. Like I've literally sat in surgeries with Roderick where
Waiting room.
in the waiting room where we got there at 7 o'clock in the morning and we're leaving like 7 o'clock at night. Like most of his surgeries are very intense. So that was the shortest time he was ever in surgery. It was about an hour and 45 minutes. Just them making sure that everything went well, it went good, that it was responding well, and it pretty much was a 6 month. They say 4 to 6, but it pretty much took 6 months for him to fully heal.
And then from the 6 month, going back to get the actual cocula itself, that was a very exciting day because that day is when I was able to hear, like, for real, like, like,
Not reading anybody's lips.
not reading anybody's lips, not having someone to speak on my behalf, on their behalf, so they can say what the other person was saying a little louder to me. I mean, we tested it, and my wife was in the other room, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was out. He was in the room that you normally take your hearing test in. And those rooms are pretty much like
Soundproof.
soundproof, especially with the door closed. So for somebody like him with the door open, if you weren't in the room with him looking at him face to face, like where he could read your lips, he would have not been able to understand what you were saying. And I went out of the room down the hallway, and he was able to hear.
She whispered some things, and I repeated what she said. And when I tell you, like, it was like amazing. I don't.
It was like Christmas Day.
Yeah, like people take the small stuff for granted. Like people take seeing for granted. People take hearing for granted. Be able to walk for granted. Don't take those things for granted, man. That stuff it's a blessing. It's a miracle that you have what you have.
It's a blessing.
But thank God that 2 years ago I have it, and it's been 2 years now. I'm good. I can hear. I have to replace the batteries every so often, but I thank God that God opened the door for me to meet Dr. Daniel Puellos. I thank God for God opened the door for my caseworker, Miss Tracy Branch. I thank God for God opening the door for Volkswagen. All three of them worked together for me to have my surgery, which I didn't come out of pocket paying a dime. I mean, this kind of money, which was $30,000, guys. $30,000. And I did not come out of pocket paying a thing. I don't owe a bill. I don't owe nothing. And God opened the door for that to happen. I'm telling you guys, man, don't take it for granted. If you have hearing loss, please go get checked out. But that's my story, and I thank you guys for taking the time to hear my side of the story. So now we're about to go hear my wife's story.
Well,
She's a little nervous, guys. Which I understand. I understand why she's nervous. I'm not gonna tell her thing, but what she's about to say is real serious. A lot of people deal with it, and I think I'm really proud for her to get the courage to talk about it. Because when we found out, I was pushing her to talk about it because you don't want to take stuff and clothes off because it causes depression, and that's one thing we're not going to do.
okay. Well, well, many people who actually personally know us know that I've had quite a few health struggles over the years. And just recently in February, I found out that I have lupus. That's pretty much why we haven't been videotaping, vlogging, any of that type of stuff as of lately, because I've just kind of needed a moment to be able to really come to terms and be okay, and to kind of finally start dealing with it. So yeah, so back in towards the beginning of the year, I started getting really sick. I started having blood clots, and I was hospitalized for like a week because I had blood clots. And I've had blood clots on several different occasions. That's a different story in itself. But then some other symptoms started showing up, and they were like, okay, well, we have some concerns because, I was having like swelling and joint pain, and like they were seeing stuff going on with my heart. And so they were like, well, we have some concerns, so we just want to do the testing. And we just, we've tried everything else. Let's just do this test, and let's just see if it's something autoimmune wise. So we did the test, and yeah, like I got a phone call back from the doctor's office, and they were like, hey, we want you to come back in. And it was like, I think we found out what's going on with you. So I was like, oh, okay. And that's when they said it that I have lupus. So yeah, back in February, I was diagnosed with it. So for those who don't know, lupus is like an autoimmune disease where pretty much your body attacks itself. It attacks its own tissue cells. Like your body pretty much can't detect good cells from bad cells, so they just start attacking you. And yeah, it's been
A journey.
interesting.
It's been a journey.
I was having flare-ups and didn't know that I was having flare-ups. It's just that my symptoms just kept getting worse and worse. And unfortunately, I also have a thyroid condition, so a lot of, or some of my symptoms, they just naturally equated that it was a part of my thyroid condition. It wasn't until another doctor was like, no, we need to evaluate this a little more because I think this is what it is. So, yeah, I have my good days. I'm learning that when my body tells me not to do something, not to push myself, you know. So, and then some days I just feel like I could do it all, and yeah. So, I mean, it's difficult, but I'm realizing that I mean, and I'm not saying that they aren't things out here, but in my research, I realized that it's not something that's talked about that often.
It's actually not something that everybody talks about. When they find out stuff like lupus, a lot of people shut down. They don't want people to know. They feel bad for themselves, you know. And I was telling my wife when she told me, yes, I was a little upset and, you know, worried, to be honest. But anybody that knows me know I don't take bad news like that and hold it and ponder with it. I look at it, okay, that's what the doctor say, but my faith in trusting God is strong that I told my wife, I said, that's what the doctor says, but I know God will heal her from this lupus.
I mean, there are people who live with it every day, so I'm definitely not looking for people to feel sorry for me. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. So, a lot of my symptoms make sense now, whereas before, yeah, a lot of my symptoms just make sense, you know, now. So, we just are taking it one day at a time, and being grateful for the good days. I try to allow my good days to outweigh my bad days. Doesn't say that they don't happen, but I tend to lean into the good days. So I am currently looking for some communities or support groups. So if anybody knows of any local support groups that deals with lupus, and I've found a couple online. Yeah, so if you guys know of any communities, know of any good information, Google has almost made me have a nervous breakdown, so I will not Google information about having lupus. That is the worst thing to do. I literally almost had like several anxiety attacks. Yeah, Googling it. So, if you have lupus or you know someone who has lupus, comment down below, and just let me know. Yeah, so.
Same for like if you want to talk about the losing of the hearing, drop a comment down below.
Or if you know somebody who's deaf or
Yeah.
partially deaf, or yeah, so we're gonna, our mission going into the rest of this year, definitely 2020, is to get more word out there about my condition, about his condition, and partnering up and, you know, trying to help people in that community. So that's definitely what we want to do. If you are not following us, head on over to our Instagram page, which is hang_with the Andersons. and our Facebook page, which is Hanging with the
Andersons.
Andersons. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like,
Notification bell.
so that you can receive more videos from us. And like always, you've been Hanging with the Andersons.